I can't name a single one of Nicki Minaj's songs. I wouldn't recognize her if I passed her in the street. But I am very familiar with her Twitter account because she keeps saying things that are really annoying all the right people. She's doing exactly the right thing, and she seems to be having a really fun time doing it. I haven't seen trolling on this scale for quite some time. In fact, possibly never, because of the 22 million followers that she has. And she has just been brazen about how much she doesn't care about the opinions of those meddling busybodies who want to tell her to shut up because she has an opinion of her own. So this began on the 13th of September when she tweeted out this. They want you to get vaccinated for the Met, which is the Met Gala that we covered the other day. If I get vaccinated, it won't be for the Met. It'll be once I feel I've done enough research. I'm working on that now. In the meantime, my loved ones, be safe. Wear the mask with 2 strings that grips your head and face, not that loose one. And then she followed this up a few minutes later with another one. My cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now the girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied. 137,000 likes. And that's a very responsible message. Now, I don't think that she's lying, that she has met a person who has had a negative reaction to the vaccine. We know someone who has had this exact reaction, where one of their testicles swelled up and it was very painful because they wanted to go somewhere and so they got the vaccine. So it's not that this can't be a side effect. Now, I don't think this is permanent. I don't know if they're permanently impotent or anything like that, and I would be surprised if that was a permanent effect. But even as a temporary effect from like a blood clot or something, that's pretty distressing. And so I can see why she's like, maybe I'll think about it. And it did resonate with some people, because especially the don't be bullied message, which I think is important. But it resonated with some people, as this person with like 500,000 followers, who I've never heard of, said, I really just want to thank you for opening up a conversation. My children had severe reactions to their childhood vaccines. We were given medical exemptions in 2015. No one is allowed to question, and few are brave enough to speak out. Everybody is unique, and that's true. Your personal circumstance might actually dictate why you shouldn't have something, or, if you don't have anything wrong, then maybe you should have it. Who knows, right? But everyone is different, and the point being...
Check the medical advice, obviously.
Exactly. Get your own medical advice for you as an individual. Don't worry about statistics. You are not a statistic. But as the point is made there, though, no one is allowed to speak out, and no one is brave enough allowed to question, and few are brave enough to speak out. That's the problem, isn't it? That's the problem with, honestly, all of modern society these days. A lot of our problems, I think, would be resolvable if we're allowed to have honest conversations about them. And so this really, really annoyed the media. So Philip Lewis is... can you just hover over him to get his bio up? He works for the Huffington Post, but he said it was, senior front page editor for the Huffington Post. So total nobody, then. Total nobody who nobody cares about. And he retweets just a Twitter poll that Nicki Minaj did, just asking which one did people following her think were the best vaccines. Pfizer came out on top on that because Americans. And so he was being snarky. Oh, was this your research that you were doing? And so she just replied to him saying, you've been tweeting me for about an hour. Are you not tired yet? Mad I'm my own person. Mad the internet can't scare me away. It's always someone who looks like you. Oof. Don't know where that's going. Polls are very much part of research, real experiences, open dialogue, etc. Go put on your red-nosed clown things. Taking no prisoners. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. And then that began it seems to have begun like the media freaking out about Nicki Minaj having her own opinions, which I think is a good thing. And so Joy Reid of MSNBC started going at her hard. And so let's play the first clip.
And people like Nicki Minaj, I have to say this. You have a platform, sister, that is 22 million followers. Okay, I have 2 million followers. You have 22 million followers on Twitter. For you to use your platform to encourage our community to not protect themselves and save their lives, my God, sister, you could do better than that. You got that platform. It's a blessing. It's a blessing that you got that people listen to you. And they listen to you more than they listen to me. For you to use your platform to put people in the position of dying from a disease they don't have to die from, oh my God, as a fan, as a hip hop fan, as somebody who was your fan, I'm so sad that you did that. So sad that you did that, sister. Oh my God.
Wow. Nicki Minaj is literally killing people now. But she didn't encourage people not to get the vaccine. She didn't say anything like that. She said, this happened, and so I'm not going to get it for the Met Gala. If I get it for something, I'll get it for something else. And she does give other reasons later on why she can. But that's the point, isn't it? Like, this has been totally taken out of context. And suddenly it's our community. Nicki Minaj lives in Trinidad. Joy Reid doesn't. What community? Oh, they're brown.
International Black Reid.
Yes, international blackness. That's what Joy Reid is appealing to here. And thankfully, Nicki Minaj is having absolutely none of this. She says, this is what happens when you're so thirsty to down another black woman by the request of a white man that you don't bother to read all my tweets. My God, sister, do better. Imagine getting your dumb ass on TV for a minute after a tweet spread a false narrative about a black woman. It's like, whew, okay. Tell us how you really feel. And she followed this up with a few retweets. She said, like this particular one that she had retweeted. Can you not read or not? You know, she clearly stated she recommends people get the vaccine, do your research, and then she gives another one where she had done this. And then another one she had retweeted that she says, when did she tell anyone not to get it? You'll lie for unprovoked views every damn day. Wow. And Nicki Minaj retweeted this. In fact, we go to the next one, I think it is. Yeah, it's like... Yeah, why would they bother to read when the lie is so juicy and provocative and got her dumbass on TV? They got someone with black skin for a reason. They always use us against us. I tell you what, man, am I allowed to talk about this? I'm starting to sweat, right? But not taking any of this crap, and I love it, right? But anyway, so then Daily Beast start lying about her. If you can scroll down a bit so you can just see the headline. Nicki Minaj says she won't get vaxxed, says she's worried about swollen testicles. She didn't say that. That's not what she said. You're a liar. And she says, please show me where I said I'm worried about anything. Yes, I'm glad you guys get to see how the media really works. I'll have contacted them along with others. That's good, isn't it? Nicki Minaj showing everyone that the media is full of absolute liars. Absolute liars. And she went back to Joy Reid after this, because this has obviously got her under her skin, and she retweeted the Joy Reid thing. And someone had said, you know, oh, look how fast the National News Network organised to blatantly lie on Nicki Minaj. You know, this is real, and the evidence is so evident of how they're working overtime to sabotage her. I fully understand why Nicki doesn't like to speak. They lie and twist about everything she says. Totally true, and they do it to everyone. And why do they do it? Well, as she says, they're being paid to do it. That's correct. They are literally paid smear merchants. So it kept going, and she discovered that she had a very nice name for Joy Reid, and you can see with Joy Reid is flanked by two white gentlemen as she's going off on this. And so Nicki Minaj retweets this saying, the two white men that sitting there nodding their heads because this Uncle Tomina is doing the work. Chill, how sad. Now, I'm not incredibly fluent in African American vernacular, but I think she's just called him called her a female Uncle Tom.
Yeah. I mean, her point earlier, they always use us to go after us. The Democrat machine always uses brown-skinned people to keep other brown-skinned people in line with the message.
And she's saying that Joy Reid, yeah, exactly, is being put on TV because she's black to lie about black people in order to put black people in their place by white people.
Don't you dare disrupt the message.
Yeah. And again, she continued with this. Tamina purposely chose to ignore these tweets and others. I wonder why. And it's tweets where she's, you know, not dissing the vaccine or anything like that. And then she starts going after the fake news machine because this leaps into action. 3 lies in a row from huge news platforms. I cited my young child as why I didn't want to travel, but notice how none of them mentioned that. Ask yourself why that was. Oh, yes, I should have got that up. Because she said that she didn't want to, she'd get vaccinated something else, but she didn't want to because she had a newborn baby, or baby of some sort. And so she wasn't going to bother with the Met Gala, which, I mean, shockingly responsible from Nicki Minaj. Good parenting, that sounds like. So these are not words I expected to ever say. Not like I had some preconceptions about Nicki Minaj was not good, but thankfully she's really overturned a bunch of these at this point, right? But she's not done. She's just going to keep going after Joy Reid for being a, quote, lying homophobic coon. She says, I guess I can join in the reindeer games too, right? People go on TV and lie about me. I can report on them too, right? Doesn't have to be truths. It can be half-truths. Uncle Tamina asked who on earth would trust the US FDA, guys. Well, okay. I mean, there's no reason that she can't do that because, I mean, if Joy Reid is going to go on TV and lie about her, why can't she go on Twitter and lie about Joy Reid? Even though I'm not even sure that's a lie because you can see from the Vox thing, Joy Reid had previously had blog posts that had been deemed by the left as homophobic. So from their own perspective, I'm not even sure that's a lie. So, like, you know, just saying. Anyway, moving on. People were starting to get, like, quite aware of what's going on here. And Meghan McCain said, maybe that's enough internet for today. To which Nicki Minaj turned around and said, eat SU. The kind of response I approve of. And her poor friend, who had the vaccine and had his testicles swell up, got wind of all this, and she tweets out, oh my FG. My cousin, who has the friend, just texted me telling to call him. You idiots, if he saw this on the news, it's all your fault. It was supposed to be a secret, ha ha ha. If either of us, you didn't hear it from me, okay. So she's just messing around here, you know, having some fun. And I'm really enjoying how much this is riling everyone up. And then Boris Johnson and Chris Whitty got wind of it. The British government are now responding to Nicki Minaj. What is happening here? So she was accused of peddling ridiculous vaccine myths by reporting on something that happened to someone she knew. And when asked whether the vaccine causes reproductive issues, Dr. Anthony Fauci said the answer is a resounding no. How he knows that, considering the vaccine hasn't been out long enough to test, I don't know. But anyway, moving on. Scientists say there's no evidence that the vaccine can cause impotence. But wouldn't people reporting that, I don't know, their bollocks are swelling up count as a form of evidence? Are we ignoring that? I mean, I'm not saying it does. I don't know. But anyway, he told CNN there's no evidence that it happens, nor that there's any mechanistic reason that it could happen. What was it about blood clots? But anyway, Chris Whitty said that people who spread falsehoods about the jab should be ashamed of themselves. And when asked about vaccine misinformation, he said, there are a number of myths that fly around, some of which are clearly ridiculous, and some of which are clearly just designed to scare. That happens to be one of them, and it's untrue. Oh, sorry, buddy, your bollocks didn't swell up after you got the vaccine. Chris Whitty says so. You know, the guy like 10,000 miles away in a different country. He knows better than you, right? But Boris, as well, during this press conference, took this with fairly good humour, admittedly. He was like, oh, I guess I don't pay attention to enough of what Nicki Minaj says. And so Nicki Minaj found this. And she tweets out, I love him even though I guess this was a diss. The accent, yes, boo. And then she recorded a message for Boris. And I find this hilarious that she's clearly just having such a good time with all of this. She says, send this to the Prime Minister and let him know they lied on me. I forgive him, no one else, only him. Let's listen to the message.
Yes, hello, Prime Minister Boris. It's Nicki Minaj. I was just calling to tell you that I thought you were so amazing on the news this morning. And I'm actually British. I was born there. I went to university there. I went to Oxford. I went to school with Margaret Thatcher. And she told me so many nice things about you. I'd love to send you my portfolio of my work, since you don't know much about me. I'm a big, big star in the United States.
I mean, the only fault there, I suppose, should have said colonies instead of United States.
That's true, she should. And she
Apart
didn't
from the
say
accent, of course.
bottle of water.
Bottle of
right?
what?
Water, yeah. I can't even pronounce it right.
Right.
Well, you know. And then just things just kept getting weirder. Like, you know, Laura Kussenberg decided to retweet this going, well, 2021, everyone. And Nicki Minaj saw this and replied to her saying, yes, 2021, when jackasses hang on my every tweet but can't decipher sarcasm and humour and can't read. Go away, Dumbo. Which is exactly how I feel about Laura Kussenberg, the BBC's political editor. Chief political editor. Anyway, Piers Morgan decided to rear his fat face. Professor Chris Whitty beefing with the ghastly Nicki Minaj, one of the rudest little madams I've ever met, is not breaking news that I expected today, but it's most welcome. She's peddling lies that cost lives.
Like you, Piers.
Bro!
You were the one demanding a lockdown, and then like a week later went to a massive football game with loads of people.
Mm-hmm.
Because for you, but not for me.
Yes. And Nicki Minaj just replies to this going, "Sir, I've never met you. I know we all look alike." "Rudest little madam. I like it. It has a special ring to it. Thanks, Pierce, she says. "Love the accent. I'd love to come and chat. Scones, tea, clown nose, red, big shoes for you. Link me, babe." I just love everything about this. Can you hover over her Twitter bio, John?
Nice.
That's excellent. For anyone listening, she's just put "rudest little madam" with a British flag in her Twitter bio. I'm loving this. I'm absolutely loving this total lack of respect for the authority figures of the United Kingdom. And then the American late night comedians finally woke up and decided that they would get on it. This is Stephen Colbert, trying to do something with her. He's got a clip selection there. She says, "I never cited that as a reason to get vaccinated. I didn't get vaccinated. This lie is so funny, entertaining though. I'd say something, but this lady, but I really like Stephen Colbert." And then Jimmy Kimmel decided that he wanted to interview her cousin's balls for some reason. "He's willing to talk for the right price. I'm his manager. Call me Jimmy." I love everything about this. I just love the fact that she's just like, "You're all a bunch of clowns, literal clowns." I mean, I can't believe that the clown world meme hasn't been appearing in her timeline, frankly. Anyway, she replies to someone else, and I like the way that she's framing this. Now, I can't see the original tweets. It was deleted by the author because obviously he got a lot of blowback for this. But she says, "How do you know this? How? Have you exhumed everybody in every cemetery in the last year? STFU. Who is this we? And following the we with we must never is where you lost me. Blocked for being effing dumb on my page. Who's next? Day 3 of Ballgate has begun." Takes a seat at my desk. I'm loving this, right? But I like this addressing the first person plural. Who is this we? Why must we? She is her own person. She gets to have her own opinion, and she gets to say things that are true as she sees them. And the fact that they're going, "Oh, we can't do this," and I assume as a black person, frankly, because they've all been trying to make racial claims on her because of the color of her skin, and she's not having any of this. Like Kanye West style, no, get bent, love it, right? And so Tucker Carlson had noticed all of this, and he did a segment on it, which we'll watch in a second, and she tweeted it out with a bullseye icon. Let's play the clip.
"Oh, he's fine. It's Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend's testicles who are swollen from taking the vax." That's the claim. But it's not anything to do with the physical effect of the vaccine that makes our political class mad. It's the last part of Nicki Minaj's tweet that enrages them. The part where she says you should pray on it, make the decision yourself like a free human being, and, quote, "don't be bullied." So our media and public health officials didn't like this because they make their livings bullying people. So they couldn't let it stand.
Love it. That's the clip she tweeted out and with the bullseye. And that is exactly true. This is we have all seen it. We have all experienced it. This is a completely correct statement about reality. And then, here come the communists. Hasan Piker, everyone's favorite big brain hypocrite, comes out and just the first reply, "He's a white nationalist, right?" And you can see down below just LMFAO. Just, oh my God, Hasan. This was your big take, was it? This was like, no, I gotta put stop to this. No, Tucker's a Nazi. Everyone's so impressed with you, Hasan. Your insight is just criminally underappreciated. And I'm so glad that you could afford that house, by the way. But anyway, so just to be clear, right, Tucker Carlson is not a white nationalist. He's an American nationalist, as we will explain in a minute. But Hasan, for anyone who doesn't know, because it turns out there are some people who aren't familiar with Hasan, and they should be, he was the guy who got banned from Twitch for saying that America deserved 9/11, like a really intelligent person. And he is, of course, a full communist who, for some reason, loves Lenin and gets his portrait done in the style of Lenin. Stalin. No, it's probably both.
No,
it was Lenin, yeah. Yeah, so, good boys who didn't do nothing. And like all good socialists, he owns a $3 million mansion. Because why wouldn't he? Nothing hypocritical there. And what I love about this is that you get all of the people who happen to like Hasan, which I would really like to know why they like Hasan. They say things, like, "Oh, why can't I profit from capitalism? Why criticizing capitalism?" And it's literally, I mean, I would appreciate if you could do your Southern slave owner drawl here.
Like, why can't I profit from slavery while engaging in slavery?
Exactly. That's exactly what
I'm
this is.
criticizing slavery, but I need the slaves.
Yeah, I might be against slavery, but,
They're my property.
that's exactly right. I've got cotton that needs picking. What do you want? And so Hasan is in his lovely, and the thing is, right, as well, you've got to remember, like the Hasan's investment into capitalism in his $3 million house and however many millions of dollars he makes every year means that he's going to become deeply conservative, right? That makes it a grift. He doesn't want socialism because then he'd have to give up what he has, and he doesn't want to give up what he has because there's no way under socialism he's going to end up with millions of dollars in a massive house.
He's not some social liberal. He's just not like, the comparison is not like he's like, I think slavery's a bit bad, but I'm a slave owner. No. He thinks slavery should be abolished and yet has slaves.
Yes, he is exactly, and he literally thinks that profit is theft. And he moves into a $3 million mansion. He can only frame that as the theft of this mansion from the working class, in his own terms. So anyway, Nicki Minaj wasn't interested in taking Hasan Piker's bull. She replied to him saying, right, I can't speak to, agree with, even look at someone from a particular political party. People aren't human anymore. If you're black and a Democrat tells you to shove marbles up your ass, you simply have to. If another party tells you to look out for that bus, stand there and get hit. Just smoked, as far as I'm concerned, because she's identified accurately the exact problem with left-wing politics. It's about making sure you understand it's us versus them, the evil people who need to be, well, punched and worse.
Entirely tribal, not concerned with any kind
Absolutely.
of fact or truth, and instead entirely concerned with power.
Exactly. And this is the cult mentality of the left that she's calling out here. She doesn't want to be like that, and well done to her. Very, very smart. And so Hasan Piker thought that he would double down on this L that he's busy publicly taking in front of millions of people with another L that he would publicly take in front of millions of people, saying Tucker Carlson is not only vaccinated, but doesn't like black and brown people, immigrants coming into the country. This isn't about parties. There are plenty of racist Democrats too. What? He's vaccinated, so she's not against vaccinations, Hasan.
Again, not understanding
No.
the debate at all.
Again, the shrinking brain of Hasan. She's not against vaccines. She's not an anti-vaxxer. She's just saying, hey, this interesting thing happened, and I'm not going to get vaccinated just to get to the Met Gala because I guess I'm not the worst person on earth. But this doesn't like black and brown immigrants coming into the country. That's not what he says in the clip that Hasan has presented here. And so let's watch this clip and actually interrogate what Tucker Carlson has said.
Where the government shows preference to people who have shown absolute contempt for our customs, our laws, our system itself, and they're being treated better than American citizens. Now, I know that the left and all the little gatekeepers on Twitter become literally hysterical if you use the term replacement, if you suggest that the Democratic Party is trying to replace the current electorate, the voters now casting ballots, with new people, more obedient voters from the third world. So this matters on a bunch of different levels, but on the most basic level, it's a voting rights question. In a democracy, one person equals one vote. If you change the population, you dilute the political power of the people who live there. So every time they import a new voter, I become disenfranchised as a current voter.
What's inaccurate about that, Hasan? Also, what's racial about that? Now, Tucker is saying non-Americans, not American citizens, are coming to America and being treated better than American citizens. This is not any particular colour. I don't know why I have to remind Hasan Piker of this, but black people are American citizens. Non-white people who are American citizens are American citizens, and they should also be concerned about the 200,000 migrants that the Biden administration is letting cross the border every single year.
That's
They're
the illegals,
not.
before you get to the legals.
But the legals are fine because they're going to move over, get American citizenship, they're following the process. I can understand why people are fine with that. But 200,000 illegal immigrants, people who have no right to be in the country, no right to be well treated by the country, shouldn't be there. And that's like each month, by the way. That's like there were 208,000 in August and 212,000 in July. And that's just the ones they know about. These are the encounters. So there are going to be, God knows how many that are just getting through that people just didn't realize because it's not like Biden's doing anything about the goddamn border. But the point is that Hasan, in his framing, if it's black and brown people, again, he can't think outside of race. What he's saying is that black and brown people are not Americans, but white people are Americans. To Hasan's framing, for him to think that Tucker Carlson is a white supremacist, he has to believe that only white people are Americans, whereas the black and brown people, who are also Americans and have been Americans their whole lives, generations going back now, Hasan, more than you, incidentally, since you were born in Turkey, they are actually all Americans, and you are an interloper who may well consider himself not to be. And if that's the case, you're doing very well out of the country, aren't you? Anyway, so Nicki Minaj, again, didn't care about this. So she replied to someone saying, well, look, Nicki, he's a racist and white supremacist. And she just said, the black woman lied on me and made people attack me, but I can't quote this man who did the opposite. Okay, yeah, fuck him. Sorry, I shouldn't have sworn. Yes, woo, happy now, brain dead. It's like, love it. I love that she is speaking to the actual things that happen. She's not speaking to an abstract, theoretical an examination that is totally inaccurate of what's happened. No, the black woman lied about her and made people attack her, but Tucker Carlson told the truth and defended her, and she's not allowed to quote him because of who Tucker Carlson is. Unbelievable. And so let's just go to the last one, where, again, people just aren't letting it go. And so she's not letting it go. And I'm loving this, right? She says, you know how many US presidents were white supremacists? Oh, please, just stay on topic. You can't do that. The topic is asking questions is okay. But let's make the topic Nicki talks to white racists so you can all sleep better at night. Dummies. She's honestly, I'm genuinely amazed at the incisive nature of her commentary on this. And I know you were like, this isn't a big deal, but I think this is a big deal. I think that she's actually completely sliced through this. Yeah, there was another bit where she claims that she was suspended temporarily on Twitter, and so she posted this. Twitter claimed that they didn't suspend her. I don't really know I don't see why she'd lie about it. And she did seem to not post very much more on the 13th, and she resumed this on the 14th because she was obviously just like, no, get effed, But she's completely right. She's being given the runaround because leftists want to exclude people from the dialogue, and she's not having it. And she's speaking to the truth. Tucker told the truth. Joy Reid lied. The rest of the media lied. And so she's like, well, I'm going to side with the person who tells the truth. Good for her.
If you enjoyed that segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to the full premium content we have on the site.
Yeah, we've got some really good stuff. Like podcasts we can't really put up on YouTube or other public domains because we're dealing with sensitive subjects and we don't want to be misconstrued in what we're saying here. The most recent one I've done is the Progressing to Destruction podcast, which is talking about the actual impact of immigration on the United Kingdom. There are lots of progressive arguments on how the ethnic diversity of the restaurants that you're enjoying has nothing but positive results for the United Kingdom, and that's not true, and we can actually see some of the consequences of this. And so I go through that in detail. We also have our regular series, such as the Epochs of the Lotus Eaters, where we talk about history, myself and Bodade. With this particular one I really enjoyed because it's talking about the Battle of Tunis and why leadership matters, because this was in the First Punic War, where Carthage is losing horrifically to the Romans, and they can't understand why, because there's nothing wrong with their navy, there's nothing wrong with their army. Turns out it was all about the leadership, and all it took was one Spartan general to come and turn the entire thing around, and that was a fantastic episode. I really enjoyed doing that. And we also have the Contemplation series that Josh and Hugo do. This is really interesting, where they just take an interesting subject and go through it in meticulous detail. This particular episode is the science of conformity, and you may well have seen lots of people still wearing their masks in the UK and elsewhere, even though you don't have to. And this goes into why psychology shows that people happen to do this kind of thing. We also have lots of premium articles, again, dealing with subjects that often are not something that you can adequately have a conversation with a bad faith actor. This particular one is free speech and the trope of gay parenthood, which on the, immediately you think, okay, this is going to be politically incorrect in some way, but it's not really. It's actually a very delicate article expressing concern that this is yet another subject where the results aren't in, we don't know what the consequences of this are, and yet we're still not allowed to question the premise. And it's because of the current political environment that we're in. Also, there are lots of other just very interesting and informative articles, such as one by Hugo about how overpopulation isn't real. It's not a real thing. And yet we're constantly told that it is. But the Earth is enormous. And it turns out it can hold billions more humans than we actually have. So interesting that. And we also have loads of very interesting interviews with people who you may not have heard of, such as Hasan Tash, the lady who was attacked, a Christian lady who was attacked at Speaker's Corner for questioning Islamism. She was stabbed in the head. In very interesting interview with her and various others. And of course, we have a live event coming up on the 24th and 25th of September. Now, the 25th of September one is sold out. So you'll have to, if you would like to come and see us, come to the Friday, 24th September one. This is in South London. As you sign up, you will be emailed the exact location because there are bad faith political actors out there who might try and interfere with the event itself. So there we go.
If you want to get access to all the premium content, please go over to lotuseaters.com and subscribe to keep the show running. Thank you and goodbye.